Hey everyone, Pomerleau here. When you've got a couple of cars and a couple of motorcycles, one thing you accumulate a lot of is a lot of tires. Now I've got 12 tires on the vehicles and another 12 here that I have to maintain at all times. I've got probably one of the cheapest tire changers on the market, and I have no problems putting tires on the rims. What I do have a problem with though is balancing. I want to try something different. I want to try to be able to do it myself. So I'm going to try something new, and that is beads. Let's zoom in a little closer on the wheel and I'll show you what I mean. Wheel weights have been used on tires for many, many years. You bring your tire down to the local auto shop, they will put it on a machine and it will tell them how much weight you need and where it has to go on your rim. Most of the time this works fine. There's been a couple of times where I got a wheel back, I put it on my car, drive down the road, and I can feel that it's not balanced. Another time my tire was flat within one day because the air leaked out from where it clips onto the rim. So what I want to try today is to use beads. The idea of them is that when your tire is turning on the road, the beads will spread themselves out and balance your tire all the time. So as your tire wears, the beads will adjust themselves inside to perfectly balance your tire on the fly. Now, they work well on narrow tires. They work perfectly on motorcycles because of the round tires. The beads will work themselves naturally into the center of the tire and balance from there. That's where you want them. So the idea is to put a calculated amount of beads into each tire, and the general rule of thumb is 1 ounce of beads for every 13 pounds of wheel. Now these beads that you buy online, they are small enough that you remove your valve stem and you pour them inside through there. Very easy to get them inside. One of the issues could be though is that if they're small enough to go into the valve stem, they're small enough to also come out. If you want to take a pressure reading with your gauge, some pellets might come out. So what the company suggests is to change your valve core to one with a filter on the end. Another issue that I have is, where do I pick up these beads? They're readily available in the States. You can go to the corner store and buy these things. But here in Canada, I find things are a little more difficult to get. So I'm going to try something different. Instead of buying these small little beads from these companies out there, I'm going to try airsoft BBs. They're not metal. They're not going to rust inside your tire. They're perfectly round, they're perfectly the same size. These are airsoft BBs for air rifles. Of course, there's pros and cons for everything. These BBs are too big to put in to your valve stem. But then again, that means you don't need the filtered valve core. So we're going to have to put them in as you install the tires. So let's get started. Usually when I take my tires off the rims, I give it a quick sanding and painting. Now we have to weigh these in order to calculate how much beads to put in. The tire weighs 17 pounds and the rim weighs 18 pounds. So if you remember, we need 1 ounce of beads for every 13 pounds of wheel. We have a total combined weight here of 35 pounds. That means we need 2.7 ounces of beads per wheel. I put a container on a kitchen scale and I zeroized it. Now I'll pour in 2.7 ounces of beads. And then I'll pour it in a Ziploc bag. So now I'm going to take my new tire and I'm going to just put the first part on the rim. Now I'm going to use a funnel and pour the beads into the tire. And now I can finally seat the other side of the bead. Now I'll put some air in it and pop the beads. Well, there it is. Brand new tire, freshly painted rim, 2.7 ounces of beads inside. I'm going to do the same for the other tires. We'll put them on the car and go for a test ride. Well, just came back from a nice little tour up the highway. So far so good. I'll give them about a year and then I'll open up the tires again to check the pellets and see how the tire is wearing out. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Be safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time.